All right, we're live.
Well, happy St. Patty's Day to everyone.
Happy St. Patty's Day. I'm not Irish at all. I'm Ukrainian and Greek. I've got nothing for St.
Hey,
Patrick's Day.
don't sleep on that. At least one of those groups have amazing food.
Both of those groups have amazing food. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I'm not. I guess I need to be schooled up on Ukrainian cuisine.
Oh, well, you have never had pierogies and stuffed cabbage.
Is that Ukrainian?
Yeah. All right. So pierogies are generally Slavic, right? Like
I thought it was a Greek thing.
pierogies are multi-ethnic. They're Ukrainian, they're Polish, they're
The
and so are
truth
stuffed cabbage.
transcends geography.
Look, there's this whole thing. The Slavs got fucked. All right, that's just a fact.
Well, I do like a nice pierogi, a nice tzatziki with it, a nice hero. Look, I'll be honest, the
Well,
Irish.
that's pierogi and tzatziki. Now you're talking my
I'm trying to
multi-ethnic
play the home
language, right?
crowd over here.
Well, I also live in Arizona, so like as far as multi-ethnic cuisine, right? Like there's nothing better than the Sonoran hot dog, which is both Mexican and German somehow.
Interesting. Tell me more about the Sonoran hot dog. Is it sauce? Is it a
Oh, the
sauce?
Sonoran hot dog. It's a hot dog, right? But it's wrapped in bacon
I'm
and
in.
it's you're already in it, but it's got pinto beans and salsa and queso. It's really good, really really delightful.
It sounds like it will end your night quick. Well, like a one Sonoran hot dog and you're down. I'd be
Ugh,
down to the count.
hang on. I, I apologize, Sam. I need to like
What's up?
my daughter's trying to call me from over at her mom's house.
Yeah, if you need to take it, I'll buy time. We got this.
Yeah, but we're live, so I kind of can't like just answer a call from my 4-year-old right now.
Well, I mean, if you need to step away, I've got plenty of place.
All right. I'll be right back.
Okay, great.
You fill.
I will. I'll fill it all up. Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to the live stream with myself, Sam Slade, and my man, Jack Matirko, who just popped back in. Uh, St. Patrick's Day special. Unfortunately, Jack, unfortunately, I don't know if you know, the Irish folk, we don't have a lot of cuisine to
Oh,
offer.
she's doing it again, Sam. Hang on.
Go ahead.
You fill,
I got you. I'll
please.
fill it up.
Thank you very much.
We don't have, the Greek, you have your hero, it's a ziki, maybe a nice Greek lamb shank, something with an herb, uh, crust on it, maybe. But us Irish folk, it's kind of ham and mashed potatoes and leeks and soda bread and Guinness. So it's not the holiday to bank on if you're planning to like eat really well. I mean, it's food that will definitely sop up the Jameson and the green beer, the Guinness. What else? Uh, Really any other alcoholic beverage is shoved in front of your face. We're live right now, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and share that. Jack will be right back with us shortly if you're just now tuning in. Sounds like he's coming back right now. Hard to say though. It's been an amazing weekend. We got off to an early start yesterday watching the Chicago St. Patrick's Day parade. Folks who aren't aware haven't picked up on it. I spent a lot of time in Chicago, in my 20s, and man, that's a fun parade. They march from the south side up to the river. The parade does, and it's really just local folk, and it's all your unions, all your groups, all your community groups, and it's just a damn good time. We checked out the New York City has theirs the day after, so we checked out New York City's parade today. Yeah, a lot of police, and a lot of police bands, and that's really cool because it lets you know that there's no lack of police presence in New York City these days under Eric Adams. And then you get all your old Irish folk and the the Archbishop. He's there grabbing up on the local news people, just kissing on them, which is I understand the Catholic Church is trying to rebrand. Yeah, less young boys, more women of age. It's not a bad look, not a bad look compared to years past. I'm sharing the live broadcast right now on my personal digital device. Uh, I rolled Galaxy. It's the luck of the Irish. So sorry, folks. I don't have I don't have the ability to see all the fun numbers and stuff coming in. So let's see if we can get over here to that. We should usually just click on the link. All right, we got that going. That's a lot of fun right there. So let's get that set up. And Jack will be back here in a quick sec. And oh yeah, we're gonna join Jack Matirko on an ongoing and necessary pursuit, and Sam Slade from Weirdos at Home for a live stream where we're going to talk about politics, media, and our own projects, comedy, life, and more. I like the and more part because it kind of keeps the door open, lets you know this could go really go anywhere. We have one viewer in, and I'm pretty sure it's just me on the live stream. Uh, hey, I have that hat. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm wearing it. So, Jack will be back here any second now. By the way, subscribe to Jack's channel. Subscribe to Weirdos at Home if you can. I know you can. Don't play around. You just click subscribe. And let's get this going because today, Weirdos in Pursuit, Sam and Jack, St. Pat's Spectacular. We're about to get it kicked off here. Jack is taking an extremely important family phone call. I got my green on. I hope you do too. In the chat, if you're watching, let us know what green you're wearing. I imagine it's something great, something sexy, not too sexy. And guys, drink responsibly today. You don't want to be the guy who gets too fucked up at St. Patrick's Day. And I know it seems like that's hard to do, right? Sounds like it might be pretty tall order to be the guy too fucked up at St. Patrick's Day. So behave today, kiddos. Don't get too fucked up. We got an election coming up. We need everybody in the best shape of their lives to get out, canvass, knock doors, make phone calls, really anything they can do to make sure you know who doesn't get reelected. That would be Donald Trump we're talking about. They're gonna go. Let's go no hat. You want to? No hat sounds like the move. And there's Jack's little puppy right there. Jack's little Scotty dog. He's a cutie. I don't know if you saw him pop in. All of a sudden, I'm looking like the Riddler in '95 over here with this green on. Not the worst look, right? Huh? I think it works. Sometimes Jack and I have the worst luck on these live streams. As soon as we're ready to go and do this, one of us have something family related come up, and you just never know. By the way, you can join Jack's Patreon if you're watching this. If you go to the stream, join the Patreon, kick him a few shekels, help him keep his channel going. Goes a long way. It really does. Goes a very long way. So, whatever you guys want to talk about, hit us up in the comments. We're here, answer all your questions, cover all your topics, and do this on St. Patrick's Day. Maybe you're already fucking hammered. They've already had too many. First year in a long time, I haven't been out at the big street parties, the big street festivals. Tara and I usually make it down to some big Austin St. Patrick's Day party. But this year, we're taking it easy. Watching movies at home. We're singing old Irish hymns at home. And we're just kind of, celebrating in a low-key way. But I think, sometimes St. Patrick's Day gets a bad rap for just being about drinking. Maybe too often folks assume that it's just about getting hammered. And it's not. So on St. Patrick ran the Snakes out of Ireland. And that was no easy task. I don't think he had a lot of cats helping him out. So once he got the snakes out, I mean, it was just all up from there until we ran out of potatoes. But once we ran out of potatoes, that was bad news, guys. That was a bad deal. Few people realize Ireland was surrounded by lobsters.
Still there?
I'm here.
All right.
Fun fact.
I apologize.
No, please don't. Fun fact. After St. Patrick ran the snakes out of Ireland,
there were never any snakes in Ireland.
Please don't ruin our fables. And we went up from there. And we thought no bad times, and then we hit a potato famine, and then we all got on boats and came over here, and that's where we became firefighters and cops and comedians and politicians, basically bullshit artists or angry guys enforcing our own anger onto other people. But what people sleep on is the fact that when that potato famine went down, we were utterly surrounded by some of the best shellfish on the planet, but it's pretty ooey.
Pretty ooey?
It was ooey. So lobsters that we wouldn't touch, and mussels we wouldn't touch. So, all those old relatives I have who were like Texas Irish who won't eat seafood, I think it's in their blood somewhere. It goes back to the old country where they decided, we're not touching any of that. But had we embraced the lobsters, the mussels, the shellfish,
would have ended up like New England.
No, we would have been living in some kind of Irish world, much like the point of Killers of the Flower Moon, where if the Native Americans had got that oil money, this country would look a lot different.
I suppose that's true. I apologize for that brief bit of lapse. Just as we started the call, my daughter decided to call me from her mom's house and just really wanted to talk. Yeah. So I had to assuage her and tell her that I could talk to her later. Which has been a recurring theme. Never give a 4-year-old an iPhone with a FaceTime connection directly to you, because she calls me all the time.
I would have been using mine at school, calling and begging to come home.
Well, luckily, the phone I gave her only connects through Wi-Fi, so like she can only call me when she's at her mom's house. Like if she somehow managed to take her phone to school, it wouldn't work there because it'd be
right. No, I get it. I understand. That's a smart move. Good move. But you did the right thing. You took the dad call. That's the bat signal for dads.
It is, when my little girl calls, I gotta say, hey, what's going on? But
Absolutely.
I also had to explain to her that I was live streaming and really needed to get back to work.
But look, when she grows up and marries little Harry Letterman, we'll all understand what they bonded over.
Is that Dave's kid's name?
Yeah, Harry, the one who was like 10 when he retired.
Oh yeah. Well, no, he's too old for her. But
Well, we'll see.
beside the point, Sam. We're not talking about me and my personal life. We're here to
we're
talk about.
not celebrity casting my little girl's future husband.
Not at all. No. And yeah, some kid from Indiana. Come on.
Come on. He says he lives in New York. Bullshit. Well, I saw a quick clip of Trump right before we got started from yesterday in Ohio, and he has no problem saying, if this doesn't go my way, you'll see a bloodbath the likes of which you've never seen.
In which the Elon Muskosphere is saying, well, what he was talking about was a decimation of the auto industry,
Right.
which may or may not be true because you can't trust anything that's said on X anymore because it's just a
I don't think that.
nightmare.
I don't think that's what Trump meant at all. I think Trump was doing what he does, where he's going, get out there and kill people. And he's like, I meant with your good work, kill him with your kindness. I didn't mean literally kill him. But the January 6th hostages, he plans to free. And I want you guys to know those 2 times I got arrested for DWI, it turns out I was a hostage.
I
Not even
I
a hostage.
but Joe's on the campaign trail now. He's basically taking the State of the Union on the road. There's Joe Mentum going on.
We have a new Joe, and I feel stupid for getting such bummer about it because this guy has been around since 1972, and he was elected as United States Senator at 29 when his district knew he's not even old enough to be a senator. He turned 30 before he got sworn in, Christmas birthday, and not to mention over that same course of time, his wife and daughter were killed in a car wreck driving home from the Christmas tree farm, and
He
his
got
two
sworn. He got sworn in the hospital.
on the bedside of Bowen Hunter. And turns 30, takes his seat, decides at the hospital after being sworn in, I don't think I can do this. To which Ted Kennedy shows up, that young, sexy Ted Kennedy, and goes, hey, Joe, we need you. I know about loss. I can't do this without you. I need a wingman. And he was a guy who had lost some very important people in his family. Anyways, for us to have underestimated Joe, like he didn't know when off season was and when the season was. So yeah, when it's just
Well, but that's Amtrak Joe. He knows a timetable when he sees one. He knows when things have to happen.
well, you're not going to waste all your good material sitting on that platform waiting for the train to pull in. You got to wait till you get at the bar car.
Well, this is something that I mentioned to you. It is that I think he's got a bit of a rope-a-dope thing going on, where he's, all of 2020, Trump's whole thing was, oh, look at my crowd sizes and look at Joe's, piddly little pandemic.
The car rallies, remember?
Yeah, everybody was out in circles and sitting in boxes, and oh well, my rallies are huge because people don't care about public health and that kind of
Hell
thing. And Joe
not.
was just like, this is how we're doing it. But now that we're past Corona, and Joe's crowds, like, I mean, Joe is showing growth, right? From his 2016 rallies to his 2020, or his 2020 rallies to his 2024 rallies. Well, now they're packed, right? So and Trump's are continually shrinking because he continually just tries to shut out all, like he was shit talking DeSantis in Ohio, and basically being like, oh, we don't need you in our party, and if you keep shutting people out, man,
No, I
It's not a
think
good
yeah.
way to go.
When you shrink your tent, it's never a good thing when it comes to politics. And this massive, amazing ability of Trump's to fight old fights that literally no one gives a fuck about anymore. Meaning like him calling out Nikki Haley at this point, him calling out DeSantis at this point. No one gives a fuck. Today he's calling out JB Pritzker, and or last night in Ohio, and going, the governor of
He's really starting to run the risk where he might not even have a running mate. Like he needs to pick somebody for VP like any day now. And
So who do you think? Because I've heard Carrie Lake. I've heard Katie Britt has disqualified herself based on her speech.
Katie Britt's speech sank any chance that she had of being VP. Carrie Lake, I, I think we talked about this last time. Carrie Lake has a shot, but she'd have to drop out of the Senate race and concede it to Gallego. And I don't think that the
She doesn't want to go
Republican
down like that.
machine.
No,
It's hard to say now that the RNC has been taken over by Trump's daughter-in-law. Like they might be stupid enough to say, "Oh yeah, that's what we're going to do," but then you lose the Senate. Like in that scenario, even if Trump does somehow manage to win the presidency, he's going to lose the House and Senate.
And they're going to immediately take steps that they need to just shut his ass down.
Yeah, nothing will hit his desk.
Well, the thing is, I don't think that his numbers are there this year in a way in which they might have even been in 2020. But I do think that we're all so fucking battered wives to Donald Trump at this point in American history. Maybe not you or I, maybe not Ian, Ty, guys who pay attention. All the women, Bulwark, Pod Save America, MSNBC, everybody. But I think there's the regular person reading the news is so battered by hearing this fucking verbal abuse and this crazy shit and the pandemic and the nonsense and the just the vitriol that they go, well, yeah, he's probably going to win and we're going to be back in that place. But this is Kiss on tour now for Trump. This isn't Kiss on tour in 1978.
Right. I think that I think I've said this before to you, where Joe and his Amtrak thing.
Oh, I love leaning
in heavy on the train stuff and doing like a City of New Orleans, the song kind of jam
up to Chicago to the convention.
Yeah. And oh yeah, no, do whistle stop tours, please. Biden administration, if you're listening, put you on a train. Just let him talk to people in the club car. Put a camera up. Like, well, just let that happen.
That's the point that you had is have you need that shot of Joe losing at poker to some old man.
But the great thing about that in particular, right? Like the narrative that builds. It is, that the chorus of that song is "Good Morning America, I Love You," which harkens back to "Morning in America," which is Reagan. And what we need is Biden Republicans to come over and say, as opposed to Reagan Democrats, we need the Biden Republicans to come over and say, no, yeah, we need to even the keel on the ship of state, and let's do that.
And I think there is a good number of those because I know that Biden helped peel off a good number of Republican voters in 2008 when it was either Palin and people, even, guys like Chuck Grassley, folks like
who
that.
Who saw Palin for what she was. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you're starting to see hints of that, like what's his name? Colorado 4th. He announced that he's leaving.
Ken Buck.
Yeah, he's leaving at the end of the week because Lauren Boebert's running for a seat. So now there's going to be a special election, which means that whoever gets appointed into that seat is going to be the Republican incumbent that Boebert has to run against because she's trying to.
She got redistricted.
She's trying to district jump because she knows she can't win her district anymore because she's burned all her bridges, and she needs to jump over. She's trying to jump next door, which may or may not have to.
I've got to say,
look, there's some personal stuff in there, right? She got she got divorced. Her sons
Oh, they can't stay
got
out of trouble.
charged
The
with.
Bobarts can't stay out of trouble.
They can't. They're really white trash people. They are. A small step from Trailer Park with them.
The son is accused of what? Like stealing car stereos or some shit, breaking into houses or something?
But yeah, all kinds of probably. I think there might have been a contributing to the delinquency of a minor in there. There's a bunch of stuff that he's charged with, which is what happens when your parents aren't at home and paying any attention to you when you're growing up because they're too busy.
Absolutely.
Uh, yeah, trying to make a media name for
Oh,
themselves,
and then the
like the
husband got
Boberts.
charged. The husband got charged with domestic abuse a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
Not on Bobart, on the son. Them just beating the shit out of each other in the front yard. But
Yep.
no, the ball's on Bobert. We haven't talked about State of the Union. You didn't get a chance to talk to Ian about it because it was the day before. We don't have to get deep into the State of the Union, but man, the shot that I think resonates for America is when Joe saw Marjorie Taylor Greene in that stupid fucking hat and gives us.
Oh, I, well, I think everybody understands that the State of the Union is like a once a year annual, the president's gonna talk to everybody thing. And for her showing up as like this like Trump NASCAR fangirl booth babe, like I it, it was just tacky. It was fucking
It was just
tacky,
tacky. It
Sam.
was tacky. It was tacky. And again, I saw Jamie Raskin ordered for her to be, fined or whatever for breaking the house rules by wearing a baseball cap on the floor. Like she gives a fuck. She doesn't give a fuck. But I noticed Bobart was acting very well
Yeah, but
behaved.
she doesn't give a fuck there. But because the baseball hat thing is an interesting one for me because there is this exemption in the house rules for hijabs and yarmulkes.
Raskin wore the little Stevie thing when he was going through cancer, the little Stephen
Yeah,
Hale.
because that's
Yeah.
cancer treatment. Yeah, but like I always thought that like it should be okay for people to wear hats. Like I never that never, but she was clearly politicking and campaigning at a time where that's not
Control.
appropriate. Yeah.
Right. And I love the thing where Kamala had every woman of the house dress in that white, like that cream white to match her.
Well, they did that before.
They have done that before?
Yeah. Well, there was a thing where all the women in the Democratic caucus wore white at
Okay.
one of Trump's State of the Unions because you'll remember that iconic picture of AOC
Oh, yeah,
just
yeah.
like boss bitch walking
Did you
in
say?
her white
Did you
suit
say?
with off behind her there were like these Republican pages staring at her like they'd never seen a woman before. It was amazing. Like that picture's fantastic.
Yeah, I think, look, Tara and I tried to game out the conventions, and I think I talked to you a little bit about this on DMs and shit, but you start to think about who they have to speak at their convention because it's a week long. And in the good old days, you would do primetime television every night of the convention with your big name or a couple big name speakers. C-SPAN will have it on all day, every day. But once you start gaming out the depth of these benches, the Republicans really don't have much. And I don't think many voters truly tune in and really check in until the conventions.
No, I don't think most do, and I think that's what sunk them last time. Like I think what I would bet that a certain amount of the Republican vote got completely lost during the RNC last time because it was the pandemic RNC,
Right.
and there was that bit with Kimberly Guilfoyle doing her "the best is yet to come" thing, which just fell so flat and was awful, and nobody thought that worked. And now on top of that, you got this thing with what's her name from Arkansas, Alabama,
Katie Britt,
Katie Britt, yeah.
yeah,
And
Alabama.
like I mean, they're just painting the entire female caucus of their party as the crazy lady who you don't want to run into in Walmart. Like, I
or
don't.
anywhere. Or you definitely don't want to make small talk with her while you wait to pick up your kid at school.
Mm-mm.
You know, the Katie Britt thing was so hilarious because Tara pointed out. Tara goes, it's starting to look like a fucking QVC segment, and then SNL did it as a QVC.
SNL did do that bit, yeah.
So that was hilarious. And then Ted Cruz had Katie Britt on his podcast. It's
And
called.
by the way, when that bit says this diamond encrusted cross is great from the
Yes,
church to the club they're talking about is a strip club. You understand, right? Like,
yeah, we
that's
do. We do. I can't believe Ralph Reed is going along with any of this. Uh, yeah, Alabama's in a sad state with their senators between that dickhead football coach Tommy Tuberville and Lauren Britt. Surely they can do better. I know they had Doug Jones in there just a couple years ago.
I will say that they have some of the nicest rest stops along the interstate of anywhere I've ever been in the country. Like, of all the driving around and stuff I've done, uh, the rest stops in Alabama are really nice.
There you go. There you go, guys. Take anything away from this podcast. If you need to pee on
Yeah,
the road in Alabama,
I support the Alabama Parks and Recreation Department.
there you go. Oh, that's a safe campaign. That is a safe campaign right there. But Ted Cruz has Katie Britt on her podcast, and he goes, "Yeah, they made you out to be Scarlett Johansson. She's hot." And Katie Britt's like, "Okay." And he goes, "How come they don't make me hot? Tom Cruise never played me." And I just had to say, first of all, Tom Cruise
This
was
was Ted Cruz.
yeah,
I mean, they're about the same height, right?
and probably 400-pound difference and a whole lot more heart and courage. One is involved in a crazy cult, and the other one is in Scientology. Da, 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 da. But he was like, "How come they don't have Ted Cruz play me?" And you're like, first of all, Tom Cruise doesn't do Ted Cruz. Tom Cruise doesn't fucking do SNL. He doesn't do late night really anymore. Like, Ted, read the fuck. Come on, Ted.
Is that just Ted Cruz like projecting into like who do I want me to play me in my biopic?
He's fan casting himself. And by the way, they had somebody hilarious playing
And he's fan casting himself as Tom Cruise, which is not right at all. Oh no! If you're gonna like cast Ted Cruz, Ricky Gervais, maybe,
right? Maybe Alec Baldwin now.
He's too tall.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Give me like 6 months to get super fat. No, but it's fascinating that these guys, they're so out of touch media wise. Like they couldn't find the fucking pulse of the country if it fucking bit them in the ass. It's just amazing.
Well, but that's part of the weird thing of the narrative that's going on now is because you've got these hardcore like Trump's gonna win people, and everyone else is going like, no. You don't understand what's happening right now.
I think there's a lot of I think there's a lot of folks. I think it's a new silent majority who's going like, it's not going to be Trump, and I don't want to talk about it.
I think there's something to that. I think there is kind of it's not a moral majority thing, like a moral majority, silent majority. It's a we just want to get on with our lives and go to our jobs, and we're tired of thinking about this all the time, and we're tired of making this one guy, the center of attention.
Right, and especially that guy. It's not Obama. It's not anybody fun to look at, or it makes you feel good. I mean, Tara runs is high up in a mental health nonprofit in Texas, and that's about as uphill as work gets. And then all her girlfriends are teachers for the most part. And they all kind of have this vibe of, we don't need to talk about it. We know who we're voting for come November. So don't, like you were saying, like, we don't need to burn our Saturday fucking watching the clips and talking about it. And Sam,
mean, it's fun, but it's also kind of like it's kind of beat
It's
down at this point, right?
it's
Like
fun, but
it's
I
like
think
doing a Nixon impression. You're
yeah, it's accurately doing Nixon with the mustache, right? Oh, checker,
not that the
Henry,
checker speech. I
the
mean, the
checker
checker
speech.
speech is was brilliant for what it was, right? Like, I
No,
mean, he got himself out of a lot of hot water with that one stupid speech.
how
But
about the balls on Nixon where they're like, people say that I couldn't even love an animal. Well, guess what, guys? I've got a dog now. I'm a new.
it was well, that was the thing with the checker speech was because he did the he played modesty so well, right? Where he's just, my wife wears a Republican cloth coat, and then he's got,
Yeah.
and the one thing, and it's, oh, people talk about us giving gifts. Well, we're not giving back the dog. Like,
We'll be keeping the dog. Chaw checkers. But then
my
check.
kids love the dog, and we're not giving back the dog, and that made him that like worked it in 1960s America, where we're
That's
just like, oh,
great.
you can't make your kids give up their dog.
Right. What? You can't. What the fuck? Not the dog, not checkers. And the thing was, is that come Watergate and all the scandals, Checkers is the only one there to listen to him anymore.
Yeah, it's just you and me now, checkers.
No, Checkers were really into it deep. I do that late at night with Lando with our golden lab. When Tara's been like, you've been up for 2 days trying to write this new bit. Why don't you take a break, big guy? Oh, Lando, someday they'll understand what we've done here. And Lando's like,
See,
I'm
but I
ready to
can't get away with that because I have a Scottish Terrier. I have a jet black Scottish Terrier.
What, and what's his name? He made a cameo while you were on the phone.
Yeah, Foster. And
Austin.
he's our jet black Scottish Terrier, who doesn't show up on camera well, which is why I don't, because jet black animals, you can't, they
Yeah,
don't picture.
right.
Uh, which is why I got him, because he was like on discount because you can't Instagram him no matter how cute he is.
And by the way, they're not into fucking yacht days.
But the thing about that is, like the only like problem with having the Scottish Terrier is, like, who else has Scottish Terriers? Ava Braun. Like,
Well, remember W had a couple. W had Barney and Miss Beasley.
oh yeah.
They were fun, dude. When I went to
But the reason, the real reason that people like me get the Scottish Terriers, because Scottish Terriers are hypoallergenic.
really,
Yeah.
I guess I need to do one. Man, my pet allergies are killing me, but I love them so much. I struggle to breathe every day, but I've got animals that love me.
And you got to put up with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's, what's it going to be? We've had last night we had a crazy 2 nights in a row, crazy, not crazy storms, but crazy lightning that went with the storms. Like you thought Dwayne Johnson was about to come out, lightning. And our little Russian blue cat would come and jump in bed with us, and specifically on my chest, but then want us to stare out the window, waiting for Dwayne Johnson to come out. Where our tough big lab just crawls under the bed, and then our little rescue half ocelot border cat just sits in the living room, being like, "You guys are being pussies," and I'm a cat saying that.
Well,
So that's my story about pets, Jack. Uh, Again, before we got rolling, I was going to apologize to you for the lack of Irish cuisine.
yeah. I mean, I haven't
We
gotten to
don't have a
cooking
lot to
yet.
offer. We don't. I don't even think we have anything close to pierogies, much less a hero.
I mean,
How far can
yeah,
ham? How far can ham and just a potato go?
it can go pretty far. I mean, it's a tasty dish.
Well, it will soak up the Jameson. I know that much. It's working right now. Uh, but I'm very excited this week, Jack, because Sunday today kicks off officially Ghostbusters week. The new Ghostbusters opens Friday. They're doing all the press. I'm the biggest Ghostbusters fan, I'd say, on the planet. I know a couple guys who may be able to match me, but they've shown basically nothing in the trailers. And Finally, my
Do you think
franchise.
this is gonna work? Do you?
I absolutely think it's going to work. I think they're going to kill some of the OGs off. I think they're going to hand it over. I think they're going to destroy the firehouse. I think as long as Jason Reitman is involved, it's always going to work. It's just willing whether or not people are going to turn out, which I guess would equate to it working. Look, it's always going to work for me, Jack.
Well, yeah, of course.
But no, I'm just so excited. I'm one of those fanboys who I'll go, if it was the Ghostbusters reading the phone book. Also, my God, Ernie Hudson. That man is 70 and he's built like he could fucking win WrestleMania today.
Yeah, he
He's
is kind of the one that has longevity. I mean, Aykroyd still looks good too. I saw Aykroyd showing off his like movie merch coat.
oh yeah, is it the red one?
No, it was the tan gray,
Oh
and it
nice.
had the new logo on the sleeve, and it had the names on the and a little Slimer on the back.
Well, I'm stoked because Marvel's had 50 movies, DC can't get it right. And now finally we're the Busters are kind of slowly getting into this pool of what if we make our own universe?
There's something to that.
Transformers has had what, 6 or 7 movies?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's our time now. And I think enough people have died from COVID that I think there's plenty of business for the Busters. There's no lack of ghosts. Enough blue collar energy around the country to bring everybody back in. It may unite us. It may be the thing that really puts us back together. I noticed in Ghostbusters 2, when they're walking down the street in the Statue of Liberty, they stomp a limo in front of Trump Tower.
He probably got some money for that, right? Like as a placement deal.
Do you think so? Because it wasn't a good look. It literally looked like they stomped Donald's limo.
Yeah, but he still had the sign was still there,
The
right?
sign was there. The sign was there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of like uh I was talking to somebody the other day and they were talking about pitching a a Godzilla movie that would appeal to Midwest America. I was just like, "Oh, that's easy. You use the same slime stuff from Ghostbusters 2, but you use it on that Jesus statue from Brazil, and it's Jesus versus Godzilla, and those people would just eat that up."
That's fucking perfect. That Jesus thing coming
You know
down,
the yeah,
just
yeah, touchdown Jesus just coming off of Brazil, just and going and beating up Godzilla. Oh, they love it.
so Godzilla's back in a big bad way right now. Are you a fan of the kaiju world?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think I'm right there too. I'll check them out.
I appreciate the symbolism of Godzilla as a metaphor for nuclear war.
And Kong is back. Kong is like helping him out.
Oh, don't die, Sam.
It's just THC. Uh,
Oh, okay. It's not just so everyone's aware. It's not nicotine. It's just weed.
I just found out. I heard about something called. Have you heard about HHC?
Have I heard about what?
Not THC, HHC.
H. No, no, I haven't.
So it's a it's
Tell me
a
about that.
it's some kind of chemical derivative of THC, and we got some gummies, some HHC
So
gummies.
is this like Delta 8?
Well, it's above Delta 8, it's below Delta 9 or THCA, but above Delta 8. But here's the thing is it won't get you stoned, but it does primarily help with sleep. Hi, how are you? Muscle pain. Again, check second box. And 3, depression. So that's a 3 for 3 for your boy. And I was eating them for like a week, and they look like little Sour Patch, like cut out like the little people. But I just started going like, Tara, this is really helping me. Like, what the fuck is this? And she read like a big, huge, some peer-reviewed paper about it. You could have just give me the footnotes. And basically it's muscle, joint pain relief, sleep, and depression. And I was like, this shit is a miracle drug.
Hmm. Speaking of depression, I don't know if you caught real time this week.
I haven't seen it yet. Who was on it?
Uh, uh, Two senators and oh,
Bill Maher.
well, yeah, Bill Maher, but no, I'm trying to remember his name. He was Obama. He was Obama's.
Axelrod?
No, it wasn't Axelrod.
Pluff?
No.
Van Jones?
Ugh,
Are you looking it up?
I'll look it up right now.
But anyways, what was the conversation?
Well, it wasn't so much the conversation as much it was when Bill did his new rules thing, where he kind of went off on this rant of like everybody needs to have a condition now, and maybe just the human condition isn't always perfect, and it's nice to be able to put a label on what your thing is. Like, okay, maybe you got ADHD, maybe you got uh, a bipolar, maybe you got this, that, and the other thing. But at the end of the day, like, everybody's just trying to get by, and maybe we should just stop trying to like medicate and just accept that like life's not gonna be perfect. Like it was a very salient point of
I love that.
yeah, sometimes stuff sucks and you just need to be you need to be the grown up.
I really do appreciate that a lot. I mean, Tara and I talk a lot about the fact that like uh going through COVID, it took us a while to realize what we were going through before we cut each other any slack. You know, why do we have this fucking hair trigger between each other? It's like, oh, because we've been locked in the house for 5 months together, right? Like, who wouldn't?
Yeah,
And a lot of couples did make it out of COVID together. Just speaking for us, and Lord knows we had our knockdown, drag out, fucking Summer Slams, shit that would make Halloween Havoc blush. Uh,
well, I think I can do this. I should be able to play this clip and it won't get us
but I guess I think there's something to be said. There's
in
definitely.
ridiculous trouble, right? Like I should be able
Oh,
to do
no, that
this.
looks great. I'm watching it on the monitor here. That looks great. Let's do it. I can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
No.
It should share audio.
Just put on subtitles. Click closed caption. Well, then nobody else can hear it either. Watch it if this is the broadcast.
Well, yeah, but all right. Well, let's do the thing. We'll do it on subtitles.
Okay.
And we'll get us in less trouble anyway.
Okay. Now, of course, there are problems. America's a big place, but wages are rising. Unemployment is negligible. Stock market soaring. We somehow brushed off both the Trump presidency and the pandemic. Yes, inflation presents for a lot of things, but an actual good sized TV now costs $60. Who gets credit for that? We've got shipping stuffed crust, legal weed, GPS, port on the phone. Cheer the fuck up, right? Stop acting like not life in America in 2024 is unbearable. Biden's ratings are in the toilet, not because he's doing such a bad job, but because a lot of Americans like to live with their head in the toilet. Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the numbers. A third of American adults who have reported a depression diagnosis at some point in their life. And while depression, of course, is a very real thing, it's also very true that earlier generations never suffered from the expectation that you're supposed to feel good all the time. 1 in 8 adults on antidepressants, and that doesn't include the ones who steal them from their parents, from their kids. There's TikTok challenges self-diagnosis of mental problems. Dan Soder has a great bit about this in his new special.
Who has a great bit about this in the new special?
Dan Soder has a great bit about the self-diagnosing yourself thing. It's on YouTube right now for free. It's like a 40-minute little quick. I mean, Bill Maher's on the money, and
he's right on with that. He is there. There's a whole lot of everyone and. All right, so we've got a bit of an age gap. We've got a little bit of an age gap between you and me. I am the tail end of Gen X. I was born in '79, right?
Yeah, I'm 86, so
yeah, and so I am still of the age where I look at millennials and Gen Z and say, they're kids who haven't figured shit out yet.
Sure, absolutely, and I know a lot of folks like that in my generation. I think Tara always gives me shit because she's like, "You're Gen X lost in a millennial's body," because just I don't relate to a lot of millennials, and I think my mindset's more with Gen X because I grew up very quick. I had family trauma go down that it forced me to, kind of say, "Sorry, action figures, I've got to." Break up this fight and shit like that. And, as somebody who, when I was 10 or 11 or 12, being told, you need to talk to somebody, it's clear you're mopey and depressed. I think it's something I spent a long time looking for a cure to. And tried every antidepressant on the planet, probably. The only one that ever worked, ironically, was the last one I tried. Ironically, was the first one invented, which was Prozac, and it got me through COVID.
See, I was the other way with COVID. I was just like, oh yeah, everybody's gonna have to be introverts for a while. This is gonna be rad to just watch the extroverts have a panic attack for a change.
And that happened. That absolutely happened.
Because as you well know, like the Gen X generation, we were all latchkey kids, right? Like we raised ourselves.
Well, right, and
it gets very.
That's what I'm saying. What I think pushes me into y'all's bracket is the fact that that's kind of how I came up.
Yeah, and it's very it wasn't so much being raised by your parents as much as being, thrown into this Lord of the Flies situation and
and then sometimes
having to figure stuff out.
Like almost having to be the parent to your parent and like talking them down and shit.
Yeah, but, which is weird. Kind of like at the end of Back to the Future, when Marty's life was awesome at the end.
Yeah,
but his parents were gonna be like just
happy as shit.
His parents were happy, yeah, but also they would have been distant because Dad was working on his book and Mom was doing her Pilates and blah 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 blah, as opposed to like the actual situation that he grew up in, where Mom and Dad were there and present and hated their jobs,
but they were involved, for the kids. Dude,
they were involved. Yeah,
I went through those stages. I went through the stage of before my dad was making crazy money, and your parents were involved with anything. I mean, overly involved, like coaching, art mom, doing Mother Goose at school, the whole deal. Dad showed up to everything, assistant coaching. And then Dad starts making some money, and then they pay for Mom to open an art gallery downtown. and everybody's like hot shotting it, and all of a sudden you're going like, what the fuck is going? Where is everybody? Like, what's up? And the universe did us, I think, a favor, and our house burned down. Our family home burned down, and when that happened, I was like 11, and when that happened, our parents split up, and then it was like a big part of me at this point in my life is going, thank God that happened, because who wants to see what happened to Marty McFly if that had happened, right? Like, I don't know. Uh, I know it gave me some real humility when that happened, right? You go from the kid who's his dad is like Tony Soprano to a Priora, like a fucking non-persona being welcomed anything.
Hmm. That's an interesting observation, Sam.
It's just weird to be 11 and be like, I'm super Don Jr. And then by 12, you're a Barack Obama in Hawaii, like, and you're like the outcast trying to make the basketball team.
Fair enough.
I was a fat black child by 12 after all that.
It's like the beginning of the jerk. I was born a poor black child.
Oh my God, Tara never heard that. And when Joe came out, I go, Fox, I was born a poor black child. Because you're like, this guy.
I'll tell you what, man. I mean, I grew up near Scranton, and I understand. Like being an Irish kid in Scranton in like the 30s, like, yeah, it's a fine
hey, by
line.
the way, your stutter's so bad, they straight up tell you in school you're fucking retarded based on your stutter. That's what happened to Joe. And it wasn't like a bad word. Nobody even like tried to hide it. They were like, hey, Joseph, you're retarded. Sit down.
And this wasn't like proper, like the way we think about educators today is not the same, like as what Joe had when he was in.
Joe had like no.
When Joe was in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, it was a really angry nun with a ruler, a really angry Irish Catholic nun with a ruler. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
It's not. She's gonna use it. She's gonna use it. It's how much.
Yeah. And she's gonna just like, oh, no, you said that word wrong. Smack.
Gah! Gah! I mean, the guy.
Maybe if you're lucky, you can dig coal out of the ground.
I mean, that's that. I think that was a
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Scranton.
I think that was a life he no doubt expected for himself at one point, right? I mean, he was.
Yeah, I don't think he saw it coming.
Oh, you know what? It's a funny thing. We just learned in some deep biography that I was been reading on my phone. I texted you all excited about it when I started reading it. But get this, one of when he had a local, he's 25 and he's got a local law practice in Delaware, maybe Scranton, and he fucking gets a case where a dude loses one of his balls and a chunk of his dick in a factory accident. And Joe like gets the guy his civil verdict, and it is, gets the dude his money through the case. And that's kind of like Joe's big first being a celebrity. And then he runs for county commissioner.
Yeah.
Or DA or whatever it was. But a guy, Jack, the joke here is that in the 60s, you lose half your dick. There's nothing we can do.
No, the real joke here is that because I have friends who have like some sort of analogous experience, right? Like for a while, I did a show on TSD TV called Devil's Dispatch with Stu DeHaan, who was the TST's lawyer for a while, and he went on. He was a judge. He became a judge for a little bit, and you know why he stopped being a judge? Because there wasn't enough money in it.
Yeah,
and so now he's gone on. He was a public defender. He did the TST stuff and managed to get himself a judgeship for a while.
And a kind of a comfortable bump up in life, right?
and well, no, not really. And he
No,
decided that that didn't work out, and now he's going to be a criminal defender uh, in New Mexico.
which is the I mean, there's
Because
not a lack of work.
the pay is better, which is a problem, right? Like, I mean, we should be paying these people whose job it is to defend the least of us
Well, teachers,
more.
right? Teachers, public servants.
Teachers, public servants.
Well, and real public servants, not getting to the Senate and making, 450 grand a year. I mean, uh, the local.
Yeah, but like, have a good,
How about
like,
firefighters,
who
right?
actually, weirdly enough, the guy who wins out, like, in terms of like our childhood and all the characters in media that we've absorbed, Sid from Toy Story. You know what happened to Sid in Toy Story? He became a garbage man and he was happy.
What do you got a
He was
pension for?
happy. He
Probably got a
got, yeah,
pension in the big
he got
city.
a good paycheck. He got a pension. He was happy. He was never bothered anybody about that time that the toys came to life on him and traumatized the
So
hell
what's
out
he
of
gonna
him.
do? Call Art Bell and tell him about it late
He
at
was,
night?
but
Like,
I mean, seriously, check it out. Toy Story 3, Sid is now this happy garbage man who's perfectly happy just doing his thing, all in garbage.
well, I do believe that's an awful message to send to some kids. That's a great message to send to a lot of kids. There's plenty of
I
police, plenty of
find,
police who need to be told, like, take a fucking city job, shut the fuck up, go to your pub on Friday, watch the Eagles.
yeah, and be happy. Yeah. And then you don't
You
have to
wouldn't
deal with all the
you
stress
wouldn't
and
have been.
nonsense.
You
Huh?
would never you wouldn't have been happy in that life.
No, I would have been miserable. But
Yeah, you have a brain.
it's not even that I have a brain, it's that I just I think that we can do better and I'd like to try and push things forward.
I think we have
But
that in
like
common a lot because like what you were getting at with your buddy from TST is far too often we lose a lot of people who could be amazing public servants who are going for what though?
for
Fuck
what? Yeah.
the scrutiny, the shitty money, the tabloid shit, the examining everything I do, like fuck that. I'd rather have this nice private sector gig and I don't deal with it. Plus, I'm making a good income and I can rent a boat in the summertime. Not buy one. We're far past those days.
Yeah. But at least you get your vacation, you get your pension, you get your savings.
And
I
you're
get
not,
it.
yeah, I do too. I really do too. And it sucks because the guys I do know who went into real public service and were like, I mean, all stars. Two of them were Marines, two of them not Marines. Both white guys, both like go late 30s, early 40s, all four of them. And they're doing big shit and they fucking hate their lives.
I had a which course was it? It was some sort of criminal law course that I had in undergrad. And my prof for that told us a story about this time where he was, just being a lawyer and driving through Texas in a VW that broke down, and he had to camp in a bush beside a church, and the pastor came out with a shotgun and almost tried to shoot him, and just like, yeah, this is like a real experience for a lot of like, particularly like First Amendment lawyers, like really kind of, uh, you think they're getting paid, but everything's kind of on the back end. Like you have to win the case before you get any money. Kind of like
Or get the book deal,
well,
right?
well, well, E. Jean Carroll's lawyers, right? E. Jean Carroll's lawyers, right? Okay, everybody thinks they just got this big payday. No, that money's all in escrow pending appeal, right? Like,
Hitting Trump
it,
pays his fucking bills.
yeah, until it gets finalized, those people are basically working on spec, right? Like,
Yeah. Right. And people don't realize that. They think it's high
Eugene
dollar
Carroll's
lawyers.
lawyers are basically working on spec based on the fact that they think they can win. And if Trump were to somehow pull it off and get that
That's
decision
or whatever.
overturned, all of a sudden they got nothing.
They don't see a dime.
And they wasted like what 5, 6 years of their life.
Well, there'll be footnotes of history. These guys who won this big case, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, it's some real Tom
Although, I mean, come on,
not
the
Tom Cruise.
chance that Trump's going to win this appeal is pretty slim.
I totally agree with you. I just think that it just sounds like a great John Grisham movie. You know, these guys who are willing to take this case for no money and all this national media.
Yeah, like that's the thing I want to see. I want to see like a movie that's like, like a law firm that's basically decked out like the kids in Hackers. Because that's what I
Yeah,
actually see with these up and coming lawyers are, they're all like squatting in an apartment or one guy's townhouse and sharing all their bills. And
they each own
it's
like
not,
they each own like two suits that match, and the rest they just slap together with like other shit.
and if they're lucky, they're the same size so they can share, right?
Right.
Like,
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I mean, I know a lot of people who didn't go to law school because either it just sounded like too much work or they were around too many lawyers. And when I say too much work, I don't mean necessarily schoolwork. I mean how much it cost.
yeah, the cost is not nothing either.
Because if you're not a star who can get a scholarship, and you can end up doing, going to some community college. And Lord knows, I have a lawyer who helps me out. He's helped me out in a lot of things in like the last 15 years, and in big ways. And he's, you know what? He's great at being a fucking lawyer. Like
Yeah.
walking in the courtroom, and I saw him a few weeks ago closing something up for me. Walks to the courtroom, and dude, that Cheshire cat grin to the judge. Just straight up, just, have you been working out? What have you been doing? There's that. You got to remember, there's that kind of lawyer who's, well, I'm here to lube the deals and grease the wheels and get a fucking deal done. Sometimes it's not about where you got your degree. It's about, can you fucking practice law and put on the show in the courtroom?
Well, but that's where Trump went wrong with Elena Haba, right?
She
Like
sucked.
she was really good at negotiating deals
And being on
uh,
TV,
and being on TV, but she, as a trial lawyer, she was awful because
forget it.
she didn't know anything about what the rules were, right?
Oh, man. When I was growing up, my dad had, when he branched off, my dad worked for Clark Thomas, Ed Clark, who was one of he's the Clark and Clark Thomas, who was Lyndon Johnson's fixer. He was Lyndon Johnson's Karl Rove. And I don't know what my dad did, but he got it really good with Mr. Clark and became like his travel baby junior attorney. And then when Mr. Clark passed away, my dad was like, fuck this, I'm gonna go start my own thing. And like the 6 or 8 junior star attorneys of that firm all went out, started these other big firms in the Austin, Central Texas, sometimes moved off, but created these other bigger firms, and Clark Thomas kind of withered away. Uh, but my dad would, after that, because of what he learned from Ed Clark, would hire the most brilliant, added fucking Ivy League baby attorneys to be the guys putting the actual work together, right? Like being the dude going through the books, the guy locked in his office on his own, you know, with his deli sandwich or his barbecue and just going through it and the stacks and stacks and stacks of evidence and records and everything. And he would bundle it all up and get it in a nice, binder about like this, give it to my old man, and my old man would go to Pacino in trial. So there's a lot of different kind of lawyers, right? And to me, it's if you're all working for good and you're all working for the right thing, then you, just like a basketball team or a football team or a great wrestling faction, you're probably going to have somebody who has to be able to do everything, right? Like you got to have your power guy, you got to have your submission hold guy, you got to have your taunting microphone guy. you
And you
know,
got to
but
have a
it's just
clutch
about,
player.
yeah, you got to have your sixth man who comes off the bench and hits that 3-pointer, right? You're Robert Ory, right? You're Steve Kerr. But I think it's like a team, anything else. If you're the most exciting it ever is when it's something like with Eugene Carroll, or I think Jack Smith probably has a team like that from everything we've read.
I think Jack Smith has a really good team. I think he's got people because particularly a couple weeks ago when Trump tried to file his delay and Jack Smith needed to respond by a week and a half, and he
Yeah,
had it in like 3 days. He was just like, "No, we got this."
yeah,
I've had people working on
with
this for
actually
weeks.
and with potential new charges.
Yeah.
So Jack
But the
responded.
question,
Jack Smith
I
responded.
mean, the question now is like which trial, uh, because Trump keeps getting his delays in a lot of weird ways.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? There's so many judges that are folding now.
It's not even that they're folding; it's that they're acquiescing to.
I think it's they don't want to be the person, like we were talking about. They don't want to be the person that's to live with this shit.
Yeah, they don't want to be. They don't want to be the judge that has it hanging over their head. I get that, but there's still the process of law moves slow, but also it feels like we should get some sort of resolution one way or the other, whether or not there is a legal determination prior to the election seems like an important thing. So now it's this SCOTUS decision on whether or not he has absolute immunity, which I don't think anybody actually buys. Like, nobody really buys that argument, right? Because, I mean, like, hypothetically, right? Trump's argument is the president has absolute immunity to do whatever he wants. So, what happens if we do the presidential debate and there's Joe and there's Trump and Joe just pulls out a Glock and points it at him? Is Trump really going to say that the president should have immunity at that point? Like, I don't think so.
Jack, it's presidential immunity, no malarkey.
Hey, you can't stop me, bro.
Hey, it's immunity. Come on. Who's gangster now? Scranton in the house.
Exactly. Right.
I love the new. I don't know what they're. I don't know. I think I'm back to every time.
I don't think they've given him anything. I think he's just been saving it up because he knows when it's time to politic and he knows when it's time to do paperwork.
Right. Like, he knows when it's time to work and he's knows when it's the time it's reform. Like it's like you run into fucking, some actor or somebody from SNL in the off season, like, hey, how are you? Run into him during the season on the street and they're gonna fucking sing and dance with you and do the whole thing. And I mean, Joe's got it and he knows when to turn it on. And the State of the Union was a great example, but then he hasn't shut it off yet. He's still going. He shot that great ad where he goes, look, I'm no spring chicken. You guys know that. And then at the end, there's like this little outtake bleep at the end of the whole emotional ad. And he's all, why'd you guys quit? I'm strong and young and I can go for like 15 more takes. Like he's just about it. Because I think if you let Joe be Joe, and I think there's a lot of guys feeling this way, and it's in a weird like judo Trump kind of vibe. If you let the dude be who he is, you'll be surprised.
And this is why I think the Amtrak whistle stop tour idea is a total like fantastic idea. I love the idea of Joe Biden sitting in the club car just talking to some dude from Iowa. Okay, there's Secret Service around and whatever, but just like, Joe being Joe talking to some dude about like, No, look, man, look, if we put this in the farm bill, then you got to understand that this is going to advantage your grandfather because of the cornfield and blah blah blah. Like
It's like those
because
old
it's
Clint.
just Joe. I want to
It's like
see
those old
Joe
Clint
like
clips.
explaining his neuroses to people. You know?
Hey, I mean, they told me I was retarded, right? Can I have one of your fries?
Yeah, right. It's just
No, I mean, I want to see him I want to see him talking through all the legislation, but I also want to see him going, I got to stop you. Mike Schmidt had one of the best years the Phillies ever saw. Like all that shit, like all
yeah, like
regular
but
guy
I'd
shit.
I'd really like to see him like talking to these flyover country Midwest people and be
White
like,
dude, let's be real,
look,
white men, right? Blue collar
yeah,
white guys. That's it.
yeah,
We're talking about.
but being like, hey, here's the policy positions of the other side, and here's why this isn't going to be good for you because look, if they do this, then you're gonna have to pay more in property taxes every year. You're gonna have to your burden is going to get worse. Whereas if we go under my policy, then things are going to get better.
Oh, right there is when they walk up with the sandwiches. Who had the turkey club? Who had the ham and Swiss? Like, I mean, you have
Yeah.
had those moments, right? Like, yeah, no, that's his. Yeah, absolutely. It's like those clips of Bill Clinton at the diner in '92 eating fries off people's plates, going like, here's why, where you go like, here's why you're right, but let me tell you about my plan.
I, yeah, I remember the SNL bit about that though. That
Oh,
was
dude,
funny.
when it was Phil and McDonald's.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And just everybody's sandwich he just starts eating on.
You
How,
wouldn't see that with Joe, right? Like with Joe, it's just like, oh, we're gonna stop and get some ice cream. And
hey, you guys want ice cream? What do you guys like? Have you ever seen Tara loves maybe more than anything the old clips of Obama and Biden going to eat in DC together where they like roll into like a burger place? And the thing is that Joe, it'd be the two of them, usually during a government shutdown. Joe is so old school because he's been in government since '73. So Joe just starts holding out money to people. And Obama has to be like, I got it. Joe, put your money down. I got it. And then when they
but
like,
that's the Joe that I like is the Joe who's just like, no, fuck this. I'm gonna pay myself. All
well, no,
right.
no, here's the thing. Obama's like, I got this. Let me pay. And then they go, no, guys, you're the president, vice president's on the House. Well, Joe will just put his money up, and Obama's going, nope, we need to support local businesses. Nope, Joe, we're paying. And he always like, because Joe will take the perks.
I
Being
remember those. I remember those because I remember that it was a tan suit moment thing where they gave
yes,
Obama crap for
absolutely.
asking. They gave Obama a hard time for asking for Dijon mustard on a
Yes,
hamburger.
yes. And do you guys have a side of Dijon?
It's just, you know what, man? I like mustard on a burger. I'm
Dude,
not
the
gonna
point
lie.
is, he's the president. You should have any fucking topping or
And he's
condom.
and he's also from Hawaii. So look, man, like
It could be a
I
lot weirder.
I there's a burger in on the mainland, and there's a fried spam sandwich in Hawaii. And you know what, man? You want a little mustard on a fried spam sandwich. I'm just saying.
No, absolutely. I mean, dude, he acknowledges in Dreams from My Father eating dog in Jakarta growing up when his mom married that Barry Soetoro.
Yeah.
So I'm saying the man has a very complex palate.
Yeah, he's been
I'm
around. He's got some mileage under him. And
Yeah, yeah, and Obama, there's nothing that five guys can throw at him that he's not ready for. Where Joe just is, hey, are we getting cookies or what's up with the cookies?
Joe's more like a blue collar Rust Belt scrapper to Obama's worldly.
They're Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes is what they are together. One is jet flying and eating caviar, and the other one is slept in alleys eating pork and beans and dined with kings and queens. But no, I like in those clips where they go out to eat, Joe will get kind of shitty if like you see moments where the meal shows up and it may be like a little off for Joe. Like they overlook Joe instead of Obama, and Joe kind of like starting to fucking get mad and like throw a fit, and Obama has to be like, "Look, you want to trade? You can have my fries, and I'll have your onion rings. It's not a big deal. We'll trade." And Joe like he has like talk him down and shit, and like Joe, here, look, I'll pull half my milkshake into this cup, and we'll split it. And you see like Joe getting talked down. It's one, but again, Joe was the fucking attack dog. Joe has an amazing ability that I don't think anybody else has ever had, maybe the Lyndon Johnson, other than tell me what you want me to play and I'll fucking hit it out of the park. Like what slot in the lineup? You want me to fucking hit third? I got you. You want me to hit fucking eighth? I got you.
I think there's something to that where like once Joe knows what the task is, he can, which is why the State of the Union is so great for him, because he knows that,
Time
this
to
is
be the
me
guy.
just talking to everybody. This is prime time. We're good.
Yeah, hey, did you hear what he said to Mike Johnson? When he handed him the speech, one of the most important moments that take place every year when the president hands the speaker and the vice president, and it's probably more important that the speaker gets it, right? VP has been in the room when they've been writing it.
Yeah.
He handed it to Mike Johnson and he goes, "Hey, here's a little sleeping material for you, sleep reading, time reading." Just
Johnson, by the way, during the State of the Union,
hey,
did not come off well.
Hey, I had to put a fucking towel over his half of the screen.
Like him just shaking his head all the time. He's just like, no, 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 no.
It wasn't a good look, dude. Jack,
it didn't look good because he was just like, because you had him shaking his head to Biden saying stuff like, we believe in making things better for all Americans. And there's Mike like, no, we don't. No, we don't. It was almost Rain Man-y. And like,
I told Tara I want to play Mike Johnson on SNL so fucking bad.
you could pull that off. No.
He shook his head. He shook his head.
No. Definitely don't like helping the poor.
Jack, childhood literacy. He shook his head to.
Well, why wouldn't he? Because the only book he wants anybody to read is the Bible. Fuck that guy.
No, definitely not childhood literacy. Definitely not childhood literacy. Definitely not reading. Definitely not reading. By the way, he adopted a black guy 10 years younger than him. The guy is a rap sheet from Florida to California, like every state along the way. I'm surprised. We're not. Look, the guy blatantly adopted a drug dealer.
And also keeps tabs on what porn he watches, right?
Well, the two of them together. And when that story came out, everybody goes, "Oh, it's like him and like a 14-year-old boy, and it's like a weird Christian thing." No, it's a dude. Mike Johnson's 45. This dude is 35. So what the fuck? What is going on? What the fuck is going on? And that guy, by the way, the guy's never voted in his life.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know who the hell that guy is.
No, I'm saying it's come out. It's easy to check voter rolls that the guy has never voted. The adopted son, who's like. Also, are we gonna sleep on the purity ball that he took his daughter to, where he married his daughter?
Oh, yeah. Well, those are all creepy. All purity ball stuff is wrong and terrible. Shouldn't be any of that. You would have
a hot take. I figured of all people, you might have a hot take on the purity ball, being that you have a daughter and showing out.
I mean, that's not a thing that I'm particularly worried about. Like, but the whole purity ball culture thing is just weird and creepy.
Hey, for the folks checking in from Facebook and Instagram who pretend they've never heard of a purity ball, can you break it down for them?
Oh yeah, so a purity ball is a thing where some dude takes his prepubescent daughter and kind of pseudo marries her under the understanding that like he's gonna preserve her chastity until he hands her. So it's basically treating women as chattel property. Uh,
And this is what our current Speaker of the House did with his daughter.
yeah, and it's super creepy, and it plays on. Unfortunately, it really does play on your average little girls like princess fantasy because they get all dressed up and do this.
Well, they don't get that their
It's
dad's using them as a fucking prop for their own weird cult game.
yeah, yeah.
They know
It's
they
super creepy.
to them it's like the best daddy daughter fucking day ever, right?
Yeah, to them it just seems like, oh yeah, me and daddy are having our own special like dance thing, date night, whatever. But like it's also yeah, you're promising that your dad is gonna just like pick your husband for you when you're 18 and you're not gonna have any choices about who you're allowed to be friends with or associate with or it's ridiculous.
Believe that or not, that happens in Texas without purity balls.
That happens a lot of places and I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
Well, it's powerful for you to say because you're a girl daughter, a girl dad,
I am a girl. Yeah, I am a girl dad. And
and
you
I
know what
think
we're waiting on?
that
You know what we're waiting on? Peach Showtime. Peach Showtime comes out March 22nd. It's going to be an awesome video game time during spring break for me and my daughter to just sit out and play some Nintendo Switch. And we're going to have a ball. We played the demo.
was it. It was just fire. The whole house was fucking just.
Yeah, it was the cool thing about it was it wasn't like complicated button techniques like a lot of the other games that come out now because you're
What's
playing
the
video
story
games.
here? What's the story?
Story is that Princess Peach goes to the theater and the theater gets taken over by some weird malicious force, and then Peach has to become all the lead characters in the plays to
That's
to
so dope. That is so fucking dope.
it's so great. It's like there's so you've got like Three Musketeers, Sword Fighter Peach, and you've got Mermaid Peach, and you've got and so it's just Peach being various. It's
But
fucking cool shit.
Peach
And like
finally got her like Black Widow movie.
yeah, well, it's more like a yeah, I don't know how to put it, but like I mean, it's Peach, but
It
then she's
sounds kind of page mastery or page
yeah,
master.
where she's kind of going into different
Roles like different famous
different
stories.
roles, different personas, different stories, and for a kid like mine who is wholeheartedly addicted to singing Disney show tunes and definitely going to be a theater kid, this is great because it's just you got you got your kid and there's Princess Peach and Peach is doing all these different theatrical roles and just like yeah, well this works out fine for me.
See,
Because
we need
I've
more.
been encouraging the theater kid thing because
You have to. You got to. Dude, I was explaining to Terry the other night when I realized when I first got into theater, it was you're looking for an elective, right? And you find out there's it's all girls in theater, and then there are like two gay kids, and
you're like, yeah, this is glitch. All right, I got it. It's
you're like, I think, no, yeah, what'd you say, 25 to 2 to 1? Yeah, I think I got this. I'll be those leading roles all semester long. But then you get hooked. But then you get in there and you get bit by it. And then you realize, like, wait, this is what the Ghostbusters doing. This is what fucking Nick Cage is doing. This is what Bruce Willis is doing. Like, this is, you go, wait a minute, this is just acting.
it's fun to ham it up on stage. Like,
You don't have to tell me.
yeah,
You don't have to tell me. I'm waiting to sign that Music Man deal. I'm obsessed with the modern Music Man idea.
I had a good Twitter conversation the other week. Somebody it was one of those Twitter memes where somebody was like, who is the supporting character that stole the show and like completely ruined the movie for the lead actor. And there's one answer for our generation, and that's Jack Sparrow, because Jack Sparrow is not the protagonist in the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Oh, see, believe it or not, I've never seen any of.
Really? Well, let
No,
me just think of it this way, right? Like, you know the story of the first Pirates movie, right?
no, I don't. I was
No,
just telling
not at all. You
I was
haven't
up.
watched it at all. All
I
right. Well, let me put it this way.
school me.
Uh, uh, Orlando Bloom's character, Will Turner, is the actual protagonist of that storyline.
Okay.
Whereas Jack Sparrow is more like the Mercutio to Will Turner's Romeo.
Okay. He's like
But
the troublemaker mentor.
he's the troublemaker comedy relief character, but he completely takes over just because it's Johnny Depp being
Doing
Johnny
Depp
Depp
being
and
Depp.
chewing scenery, right? But he's not the main character of the story. Like, the love story there is between Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley, who nobody remembers from either of those movies.
I had no idea. I was like, well, these are Jack Sparrow movies, and who wants to get involved?
But they're not. Like, like, if you sit down and look at the script and just be like, oh, okay, this is the story of, this poor, like, orphan boy who becomes a swordsmith and befriends this pirate and is able to go and save his lady love. Like, that's the story. Jack is this secondary character, but he got all the screen time because it's Johnny Depp being fucking amazing, right? But, like,
just chewing it up,
yeah, but not the lead. In no way, shape, or form in that script is he the one
God
who's
damn it!
it's supposed to be about.
I'm racking my brain for anything close to second when it comes to somebody who wasn't supposed to steal the movie that hard. I mean, I don't know. A second, maybe Keaton and Night Shift.
Maybe you can make an argument that
nobody gives a fuck. There's nobody in Marvel who ever pulled that off. There's nobody really in DC who ever pulled it off.
Okay. Fisher King.
Sure.
Robin Williams is the secondary character, and Jeff Bridges was
people forget that
Jeff Bridges was the real protagonist.
That's true. That is true.
But Robin Williams ran away with that in very much the same way that Johnny Depp with Jack Sparrow. Yeah.
That's such a great, and that leads me into what I want to talk to you about. Did you watch the Oscars?
I didn't watch the Oscars, but I caught some of the clips. Which is the thing that
we have every year, Tara and a group of her girls have an Oscars party of some kind. The Tara Mafia, and so we go, we enjoy the ceremony, fill out ballots, the whole deal. I thought Kimmel crushed it. I thought Oppenheimer ran away with it, but what I'm getting at is, hey, did you see DeVito's and Schwarzenegger's bit?
I did. Yeah.
That was great. So apparently they pitched that to Keaton after he presented for Best Makeup, and on his way back to his seat, he was like almost sitting back down into his seat, and some page was like, "Hey, they need you," and he was like, "Need me where? Like, they need you back."
I thought it was funny how they because they worked in the Batman villains plus twins,
right?
Which was,
but apparently apparently DeVito pitched that after a few drinks when he got backstage and found Jimmy Kimmel, and he was like, "What do you think about doing a whole thing?" And also that was
a good bit.
Yeah, and you had twins, and that was the whole thing. And I think they're really looking for a way to do triplets, which they almost got. Believe it or not, they almost got triplets done with Tracy Morgan right before COVID hit.
So it was it's interesting now that things are, because we're like exactly 4 years from when lockdown happened.
It was last week. Yeah.
Yeah. and it's interesting to see how things are getting back to normal, which I think is something that could be kind of a Joe Mentum kind of thing. Like we're gonna get back to normal, folks. We're gonna have regular order in the house. We're gonna
Hey, we're
they're
gonna
gonna
do that last Twins
we're,
movie. We've been waiting for.
I
No,
want to fix immigration as much as you do, folks, but they got to put a bill on my desk first. There's nothing
it
I
has,
can
I
do.
mean, look, it's totally Joe Minham thing because Joe's message has always been, "I'm gonna be normal.
Yeah,
Be normal. We're just gonna be normal granddad, normal uncle. We're just gonna fucking be normal."
yeah. Can we just accept that whatever the fuck Trump is, it's not normal?
None of it is normal. But so when they did the Best Picture at the Oscars, first of all, Robert Downey's Best Supporting speech was fucking awesome. He said something, and I told Tara, I wish I had articulated that about how I feel about you before he said it about his wife, where he goes, Susan Downey, and he's dressed like Iron Man, with the glasses and the whole deal. He goes, Susan Downey, you found me, and I was a rabid, mean street rescue dog, and you love me back into a house, living room on the couch talk.
Something to that.
There's something huge to that. And then he thanked the lawyer he's had. He goes, and this goes back to getting me out of the pokey in '97. So thank you, my man. And you're like, dude, fuck yeah. But then when they did Best Picture, this really kind of I had mixed feelings. Pacino comes out and he doesn't give a talk. He doesn't give the speech about the power of the Best Picture. And he goes, "Oh, I'm being told the envelope, it's in the envelope," and just picks it up and reads it. Best Picture is Oppenheimer. And they don't even mention any of the nominees. And you go,
Yeah.
you worked your fucking life to get here. They don't even do like the
Well, he didn't.
shots of everybody in their boxes all, oh, it might be us.
I I I don't know what went on there,
We just keep.
but I wasn't. I had
Well,
nothing to do
Tara
with it.
pointed out to me. Tara pointed out to me that we have to quit having these like octogenarian last call movie stars doing Best Picture because it's been fucked up too many times. Like when you had Warren Beatty and what's her name from, they were all La La Land. Nope, it's Moonlight. So, all right.
Yeah, but that's just. I mean, that's the studio system. You're either in LA and get a vote, or you're
I'm just
not,
no.
right?
I'm just
So.
saying. I know what I'm saying is read the fucking prompter, Jack. Read the prompter. Follow the
Well,
fucking card. Don't decide on your own because you're fucking 90 and you've won a couple Oscars.
I did think it was particularly funny for when they dragged John Cena out for best costume and he came out naked, except for Birkenstocks. I thought the fact that they had him in Birkenstocks was a really funny touch to that
And,
entire thing,
and an
and
era
a nod to the Barbie movie, right?
and an
So
era in which everyone is going back to wrestling right now, and he's not. Everyone is going back to wrestling. All the old wrestlers are showing back up right now. The Rock is a heel now. He's running it. He's driving ticket sales. And John Cena, dude, that bit where he's
John
behind.
Cena's got like some kind of production deal with Amazon streaming now,
Yes,
where like he's got.
Ricky Stenicki was fucking hilarious if you haven't seen it.
I
It's
haven't watched it yet, but
you know what
I've
it's
seen the
about?
push.
Do you
Yeah,
know
I've seen the trailer and it looks
oh,
funny.
it's
Like
hilarious.
it really does.
And,
It's like
dude,
it's like
you get
a
a
it's like a it's like a Arrested Development disaffected 30s bachelor
yeah, but
drop dead friend,
also like an
right?
80s
Like
comedy. Yeah, but and it's like an 80s comedy where like you get all this high stakes shit, but then you get a happy ending. Like everything works out. Like you get like that
got a bit
nice
of a bit of a City Slickers vibe.
yeah, and it just everything works out for everybody, and everybody turns out to be not as bad as you thought they might have been because it's just a fucking comedy, and we can all be like you said, we could all be better. Maybe we all just be better. Anyways, for
Not
best,
best though.
what?
Not be best, because that was Melania's slogan.
Uh,
Remember that?
I, I remember that because it was her internet bullying campaign when her husband is the goat of internet bullying.
Yeah.
So I guess Tara's
I'm so
if I ever
glad that
become
that's
president,
done. So glad that's,
well, who's going to be his first lady if he
that's another
fucking
thing.
if he gets reelected? Who's going to be the first lady? Because Melania's done with this shit. She's
She
over
is
it.
pretty sick of him.
She's not coming back. So I'm going to get that Peach game. Do I have to have a Nintendo Switch?
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
All right, so we're going to throw the PlayStation right in the garbage. We're going to get the
Telling you,
Nintendo.
it's gonna be a good year for Nintendo, man.
Do we have
Got this
more
Peach
Nintendo
game
movies?
coming out. They're porting Luigi's Mansion 2 to the Switch. Previously only available on GameCube, but they're redoing it with all new graphics and yada yada yada. And if you haven't played the Luigi's Mansion games, super fun. Uh,
Hey,
but
do you think Mario gets a sequel or any of these other? Surely, right? It made so much money.
the Mario movie,
Yeah, there's surely there's room to do a Luigi's Mansion or a Mario
there
2.
is definitely room to do a Luigi's Mansion movie. They kind of set that up in the
Did
in the
they?
Mario movie. Yeah, and that'd be rad. I think that'd be awesome. I'd love to see Luigi
I
get
feel
his
like
own movie.
there's a Mario universe waiting to happen.
There is. And you won't even need Captain N the Game Master this time. You can just have all the characters.
I think it's a fun place we're at. I think I saw they're doing a new Tron. Did you see this with Jared Leto?
Oh, does it have to be Jared Leto?
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. They don't even show his face in the poster. He just has the Tron outfit on, but the lasers are red instead of
Can't
blue.
he just go pretend to climb another building or something?
Do anything. Do anything at
He
all.
he's got a weird cult behind him. I don't understand.
Did I tell you the deal where
I
when
mean, I'm not saying he's a bad guy or even a bad actor. Like he's a good actor, but like, God,
it's a lot.
just exhausting.
Yeah, it's a
Just,
lot.
especially after, after his Joker and after Morbius, you're just kind of like, man, you're not picking great
Right. And what's crazy is
trips. Like,
he won Best Supporting the night McConaughey won Best Supporting for Dallas Buyers. Like for that to 1-2 punch is very rare. For the actor and Best Supporting to be from the same movie, that
yeah.
doesn't happen often. But did I tell you this thing we heard about on Morbius? He insisted on being in a wheelchair, so people would have to wheel him to the bathroom on the set.
I mean, that's a method actor thing, and like,
Mm-mm. No.
I mean, you heard some weird shit that Heath Ledger did when he was Joker too, right? Like, I think at some point playing the Joker screws you up a little bit, right? Like,
But that's what
I think it
Nicholson
just
said.
does. Yeah,
Nicholson was like, I warned him. I warned both of them.
yeah, but yeah, man, Jared Leto's Joker was not
It
great.
was so bad, dude. It was so bad. It was so bad. He had ha 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 right here. Fuck you,
So
man.
corny, so corny.
God damn it. It doesn't have we don't have to live like this. But it's over now.
Although, meanwhile,
Oh,
American Fiction won one, right, for screenplay, right?
did.
American Fiction run for best screenplay, which this is actually related because Jeffrey Wright in American
Is in your
Fiction,
favorite fucking podcast.
yes, hands down best Black Batman. Well, first Black Batman, also best Black Batman. But Jeffrey Wright is great, and so he was. So it was cool to see American Fiction pick one up as part of a tangential Batman verse
You
kind of
know
thing.
what you know how I feel about that. Where I think you just animate that fucking podcast. You
Oh,
heard
I
it.
think it'd be fantastic. The cast is phenomenal.
I mean, to think about that cast live action is just, it blows your mind. I mean, the scheduling alone would kill somebody. But they're casting
Yeah.
for Batman, and because Superman's all young now, and I don't know who for the life of them they're going to go with, because he's got to be young enough to not like seem old like Affleck did, but young enough to where he seems like he could be.
I think they just kind of need to go full in on Superboy, right? Like
Well, no.
I
What
don't
they're
want
doing is
to.
Batman's kid will be around, so he'll have his son Damian. So he's got to be old enough to have a 10-year-old, 12-year-old kid.
You're talking about Batman or Superman?
Yeah,
Like
Batman.
which property are we trying to?
I was fan casting Batman because he's supposed to be old enough to have a kid, but not be too old that we get bummed out. And it's tough, dude. I don't know who's out there. People say Jensen Ackles, and Lord knows I'll still take Kurt Russell from that 1984 casting call.
I
I don't
mean, you
know.
need
People
somebody
say
who can do.
What about Reacher? That new Reacher kid. I saw him on Bill Maher. He seems like a good dude.
I don't know.
Not Walker. He sucks. Uh, Paul Rudd, Batman. Let's go.
That'd be interesting.
It'd be very.
It'd be interesting.
You're like, I didn't say we'd sell tickets.
I don't know. I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see like a Superboy. Like I want to see.
Is it a thing where like Clark's the dad, Lois and Clark are?
Yeah, I want to see Lois and Clark being the dad, and I want to see Mom Lois, and I want to see.
Swing,
And
swing.
there's so well no because there's a bit that they did in the comics at some point with the Superboy stuff where Batman shows up, right? Just like at Lois's house with Superboy there, right? And he knocks.
Is he Bruce or Batman?
Batman
In the shit in the
full Batman, and
okay.
he rings the bell, and Superboy answers the door, and Batman's there, and he's just like, wait a second. Batman knocks. He's just like, I do in this house. And Lois is like, yeah, because we had to talk about that, didn't we, Batman?
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
We had to talk about privacy and invading people's space, didn't we, Bruce? And like that's the
people's home.
I want to see that Lois get like mom voice at Batman and just be like,
awesome.
We had to talk about this.
That is really fucking great.
And then watch Superboy be like, "Oh, my mom's a badass. Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah. My mom's not scared of fucking Batman." Like in his tactical shit, Bruce is like, Clark's upstairs fixing the curl before he comes down.
Yeah. Comes out in a sweater vest and just be like, "Hey, Bruce, how are you? Want a highball?"
Because Superman can't get drunk, can he?
No,
he can't.
Not even.
Yeah. No, Bruce can get fucking shithoused. Bruce was so shithoused. Remember how shithouse Keaton's was? He gave Knox a grant. In Keaton Batman, when they're having the big casino party in the opening. Vicky Vale and Knox Grant, are walking through making fun of all of his military stuff. And Robert Wool, as Knox Grant, Knox goes, and where did he get this one? What is this? The King of the Wicker People. And then the King's right behind him. He's right behind him, and he goes, yeah. Actually, got that from the Dalai Lama in Japan, and he gave it to me as a gift. That was a ancient samurai, blah, 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 blah. And he's like,
yeah, that was a weird character because that was kind of an attempt to give Batman his own Jimmy Olsen, right? Like,
but he was like his age.
Yeah.
But he goes, and Alfred,
still great character though.
He saved Vicky
great
Vale.
Character.
Let's save Vicky Vale.
Oh yeah.
I found out the other day, Tara and I were watching the thing, and that movie was made in 3 months. Can you believe that? That
It was
whole
shot in 3 months.
that's why. Yes, 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 yes. Shot in 3 months. No,
Yeah.
no, no. Years in production.
The actual like writing of the script involved like Tim Burton going on a
Years.
cruise with
Years.
someone and
Oh my God. What's your favorite Tim Burton movie? You're a Tim Burton guy.
oh, I'm really looking forward to Beetlejuice too. Like I oh boy. I'm excited for Beetle. As long as we're talking Batman and Tim Burton, Beetlejuice 2 is
I
going to
think I
be.
think Beetlejuice turns good.
I don't know. I haven't seen the script, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, what I've
I'm
heard,
looking forward to
what
see.
I've
I'm
heard
looking
is
forward to seeing Michael Keaton do Beetlejuice again. I'm looking forward to.
Winona killing it.
Yeah,
You know,
because if you were a young goth in the '90s, let me tell you something about Lydia Dietz.
plus
There's a special place in your heart.
you got Catherine O'Hara back as the mean mom. Remember how much of a
Really,
bitch she was?
oh, that's great.
But I think the
We're
bad
gonna
guys
we're gonna get some more calypso music. Do you think? Can we
they
get
did. They know they confirmed the other day. Keaton said it. Yeah, we got
little
Deo back. We've got Deo back. So.
little Harry Belafonte going on?
Oh
All
yeah,
right,
dude.
I'm in.
Dead football players dancing. No, but Defoe is supposed to be the bad guy.
As like a
He's the detective chasing Beetlejuice through like the dead people organization, like
really, that sounds interesting. All
right.
right, I'm still in for this movie. Like I'm very excited to see what Beetlejuice 2 is like because I
I'm
think it's gonna
very
be
in.
fun.
I mean, just to see Keats in the
Shoe
fucking
scenery as Beetlejuice again, right? Like
come on.
yeah,
I mean, it was so good on Broadway or on stage that Bobart jerked that dude off.
yeah, because he was so aroused by the acting.
He was all excited because he remembered Keaton killing it when he was a kid.
Was he? I mean, maybe.
Bobart was still married.
Yeah,
That wasn't her husband.
I know.
And he was
And
just
she's a
literally like,
sitting
I
member
know.
of the House of Representatives.
I know. Oh my God, she sucks trying to grill people. I saw a clip of her trying to grill Hunter Biden's lawyer, and Hunter Biden's lawyer is just like, I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, her new thing is that she's saying that the deep state is trying to sink her reelection campaign because she's running in another district because what's his face is dropping out and there's going to be a special election and then she's going to have to be running against an incumbent.
You know who runs
And
the deep state? Hunter Biden. It's dick.
and I think it's
Hunter
yeah,
Biden's
and what it really
state.
comes down to is that like even the GNC doesn't
RNC.
want her to. Yeah, the RNC doesn't want her to
Or the
be
GNC was
there
all in the
anymore.
90s.
The GNC, she can like sell like I don't know testosterone powder for GNC
Or
after this is
Oxy,
over.
or I bet she was Ozempic.
Zempic.
We're 2 hours in. I don't think there's anything else we can touch on.
No, I think it's been a good live stream. I feel pretty good about
I think
this.
it's a hell of a. Oh, happy St. Patty's Day, everybody!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ha
you're like, I'm Ukrainian. We have better food.
I mean, it's all still made of potatoes, man.
But I think that does say something about you guys kicking ass in that war right now. So you're like, at least this is an Irish food.
I mean, there's a fine line, dude. Like,
But it's from like here. It's from here.
look, man.
Here,
Cole
here.
Cannon is mashed potatoes and cabbage with some bacon on it, right? And pierogies are mashed potatoes in dough with onions and some bacon on it. Like,
you're like, we classed it up with some dough. All right, we're not monsters.
It's not. It's a fine line in terms of what the foodstuffs are for the poor people.
It's all the same thing. It's a delivery system more than anything.
It's a delivery system. Yeah.
Dude, I have so much fun doing these with you, man.
Yeah. Chicago.
Well, it's St. Patty's Day, and I'm a big Cubs fan. Lord knows we have a big losing season ahead of us.
Now I got the
Starts at
Perfect Strangers theme playing in my head.
da, 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 da.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Uh, Belky, we would be lucky to have Belky on the roster this year.
Yeah, what's he been up to? What's Bronson Pinchot doing right now?
He's back in the new Axel Foley movie on Netflix this summer.
Is he?
Yeah, he's full on back.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good. And Judge is back. The old guy is back. And his Axel's new partner is Joseph Gordon-Levitt as like the downtrodden cop. But the word is he may be Paul Reiser's son. So we get that whole fan service.
Okay.
I'm
I'm
here for
excited for that.
I'm
Excited
here.
for that.
I love between Obama right here, White Sox Stadium right here, Wrigley, the logo, the hat, Second City somewhere.
It
And
is.
you're and then you're like, Chicago, huh?
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to show all my cards. I'm sorry, Austin sucks these days. We're really not holding up our end of the deal.
Sorry.
What are you gonna
Phoenix
do?
needs some work too. What am I going to tell you?
Hey, Tara and I always have a good time drinking at the Sky Harbor Lounge. You guys are the only airport who has the nerve to be like, no, 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 it's Sky Harbor. You're like,
Yeah. I
no,
know.
that feels like Star Trek. Oh, Tara, I'm calling you Uhura until our
It
land.
is. There's a very very sci-fi feel to our
It's
airport.
great though. More airports should do that shit. Sky
It
Harbor.
is, and they've got a great thing now. Like, I mean, you get to the airport, you hop from the airport right onto the sky train that gets you to the light rail. You can get basically anywhere in the city from the
Dude,
airport
that's why we had so much fun. Also,
without a car.
there's a dispensary like almost within airport parking.
Practically, yeah.
I mean, we stopped by there a few times on the way in, the way out. They're a fun dispensary where they have the guy with the AK-47 out front, but once you go in, it's like Willy Wonka, but with weed.
Our dispensaries have gotten very upscale really fast because you got to appeal to the Scottsdale set.
What does
And
that mean? What does that mean? Scottsdale, they're uppity?
yeah, Scottsdales are pretentious, which is weird because like there's not like if you go hang out in the club scene in Scottsdale, it's just you know
Just dirty club scene.
dirty club scene, but like the people who run Old Town Scottsdale have this like historic cowboy culture and art thing that just like doesn't actually exist when everything that makes money is populated by ASU students.
Which means we're raging, which means we made
Yeah,
fun.
which means it's a rave, right? Like
No, we
it's
went
weird.
to the dispensary by the airport when we went there, had like fucking weed tacos and weed egg rolls and all kinds of shit. Like a whole menu.
That's fancy.
It was. And we were kind of scared of it. So we just got our little edibles and our little gummies and drove to the Grand Canyon. But next time I'm gonna eat about 10 of those weed tacos, and then I'm gonna have you and Tara carry me to the nearest hotel or to the car, then to the hotel will carry me once we get there.
If we ever get big enough and we get to do like a thing, right? Can't say a better place for like a swank.
Oh
Like
yeah.
all the comedy people they do the cruises now,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh, we're gonna do
So
the Weirdos in
huge
Pursuit
thing.
cruise. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and start putting that in the universe, the Weirdos in Pursuit cruise.
Yeah, let's put that out there as a thing.
We need to. Guys, comment, like, subscribe. Jack Matirko, Sam Slade, Weirdos in Pursuit Cruise. We're gonna get this done. It may be a
Sounds,
little fishing boat. I don't know, but we're gonna at least get it off the ground. We got to start somewhere.
yeah, it's worth a try.
Oh, I mean, we got to have at least one to know how it goes.
For sure. Worth a shot.
All right. Well,
And there
Brent,
are
I'm gonna
places.
I'm gonna go talk to Terry about getting a hold of some cruise people, and I think we'll do this again in a couple weeks. And dude, it's always a great time.
Yeah, always, man.
I love you,
All right,
bro.
I'm in. Love you too, brother.
Yeah, I need that reciprocation.
All right, I